record this right now. Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen. There we go. All right, can everyone see my screen okay? All right, so I wanted to start from the very, very beginning where we log in. So this is where you would go to log in the upper right-hand corner. If you haven't made your account yet, you can create a free account. Don't do that right now. Focus on me, let it wash over you. Again, we are recording this, so you can always just watch this one and then go back to it later when you're setting your account up, if you don't already have one. All right, so you're gonna log in. You won't have that option, that's just for me. All right, so whenever you log in or open the app, whether it's on your phone or desktop, it's going to automatically open to the buyer tab. Just so you know, so if you want to switch it to seller, you just have to manually do that. But we are just going to start from the buyer and work our way to the right on our menu up here. So with the buyer, let me just put in an address. I'm going to use Tracy's address just because I know all the information. And I can kind of speak into it a little bit easier. All right, so as you can see, everything's powered by Google. So you know that you're pulling really accurate addresses. So check this out. This is what I was talking about. It automatically pulls the taxes. So it's saying that there is this assessed value based off of the tax year of 2023. So it is going to pull the most recent tax bill that is on record. And that is the taxes. But, you know, keep in mind, Tracy's been living in this house for 18 years. You know, she's grandfathered into her taxes and she has homestead exemption. So that's definitely something to consider. Now, it is going to give me another suggestion for the taxes kind of later in the quote once we press that we're done. So we'll come back to that in a little bit. But for right now, I'm just going to hit done and it's going to automatically fill those taxes in. I said done. Put it in. You know what? Let me just refresh my page really quick, you guys. I want to make sure I show you everything. And that's another thing, you know, like any website, like any app, this can have glitches occasionally. I highly suggest you just log out and log back in again, and that kind of resets everything, works every time. So I'm gonna hit done. Please. All right, well, it's going to give us that suggestion at the end anyway, so it's kind of irrelevant. So home price, I'm going to put in 500,000 just to make it a nice even number. Down payment. So you see there's like the percentage or the monetary amount, you can put that down. So anytime you go over 100, it's going to automatically do this. So check it out. I was going to put 20%, but as soon as I hit another zero, it flipped over to money. So I think that's pretty cool. So I'm going to go back to 20%. Interest rate, it is going to pull the average. And make sure you keep your automatic updates on your phone so that this can stay updated. It will refresh it all the time. I mean, a week later, 2 weeks later, all of those things, anytime that they update the interest rates, it will get updated here. Average 30-year term, miscellaneous. So anywhere that you see this little gear is somewhere that you can click into. So with the miscellaneous, I can add to the buyer's closing costs or I can subtract from the buyer's closing costs. I can, you know, kind of use the drop down and add some common items on either side that you would commonly see, or I can type in the name of the item myself, and then I can add as many fields in each category as I need to. And it'll save it automatically in the final breakdown. There's our average insurance, the taxes. So even though it didn't pull that $2,800 tax amount, it is still going to pull the millage rate so that it can calculate the taxes itself. So if you see there is another gear here, you can come in here and kind of, great, thanks. You can come in here and see the different millage rates for each city in the county, which is really powerful, obviously. So you can come here and say, all right, we're in Atlantic, there it is. Oh gosh, I can't read today. So this is what we're going to use. I'm gonna copy that. All right, press done. And now, okay, it's checked on Cape Canaveral. I'm gonna go check it on Indialantic. And that's how I can get that Indialantic millage rate perfectly in there. So the HOA, you see there's annual, monthly, quarterly. I know that she has $225 a month. Now, for those of you who work in Suntree Vieira area, we all know that there can sometimes be like 4 or 5 HOAs. So in that event, you would just have to kind of add them up and see how they would break down annually or quarterly or monthly. So that would just be kind of adding them together. I did actually ask them about adding multiple HOA fields, but unfortunately the company's based in Texas and they're like, we can't do something just specific to Florida and especially your area. So unfortunately it won't be added, but that is a really great way to work around it. The closing date, I'm going to make sure I push that out by a month because that does affect the prorations. Compute. All right, so normally at the end, it would have popped up another tax amount. Since I used the millage rate, it's going by that. So what it was going to show me is a very much higher alternative. So it was going to show me a tax amount of about $9,000, which is a lot. So that $9,000 is the very, very tippy top of what a new buyer could potentially expect their taxes to be in this home. Now, keep in mind, there's no homestead exemption on that. There's no kind of exemption at all. So that would definitely be something to factor into the quote and make sure your clients know that this is probably not the amount that you're going to be paying, but I want to quote you higher rather than too low. Tracy says that all the time. You'd rather be a hero, not a zero. In the long run, do you want to save your clients money or do you want to, underquote them early on and then later they have to end up paying more money? That's not what we want, right? So right here, I have this like quick end screen. This is just kind of showing me what the monthly payment expectations can be and what the closing costs are going to be. So this is showing with 20% down, we're going to have $100,000 down. So let's say I'm sitting with these buyers and they're telling me, you know what, Rose, like we told you that we really can't afford more than $4,200 a month. That is our cap of monthly payment. So you can just come right here, press that edit button and put 4,200 in here. And then what it does when you press done, it recalculates the whole rest of the quote around that number. So yes, client, we can absolutely get you that $4,200 a month or dollars monthly payment, but you're going to have to bring more like 25% down to the closing table. Is that possible? No, then maybe we need to realign our expectations of the home price that you're looking at. There it is. Like there's my first example of kind of putting that power into your hands of realigning their expectations. So you can always do this on the other side. Let's say they have a little more wiggle room on their monthly payment, but they can't bring so much to the closing table. You can always press edit right here and adjust it that way. So closing costs, if you need to make any adjustments there, right here is that button, detail closing costs. So you can come in here, it'll pop this up and you can press edit and then you can adjust the prepaids. You can, if we've negotiated the closing fee with you on this, if you know that your buyers don't need a survey, those kinds of things. These are obviously set prices that are prorated and based off of the sales price. We all know doc stamp. So that's kind of what we're looking at here, but these title fees could be a little bit adjusted. So I press done and then exit out of there. Now, okay. So I'm still here. I was just in detail closing costs. Now, right below that is a button that looks like a phone with some arrows because that's exactly what it is. So when you're on your phone, to get to this, you would just turn your phone to the side and you have to have that portrait lock turned off. So you can turn your phone to the side and it'll actually switch. And what it's going to show you is this. How offer price can affect my payment. So you have these buyers, they're pretty tight-fisted. They're thinking, okay, I can't offer more than 500,000 because I have to stay at that 4,200 a month. But hey, client, what if you offered 10,000 more dollars? I understand where you're coming from, but it's only a $96 increase per month. These days, that's like one nice dinner out with your family, and not even that nice, right? With no drinking. That's the prices these days. So like, can you sacrifice one dinner out with your family per month? Most people will do that to get their dream home, right? So you can adjust this. It doesn't have to be 10,000 and it doesn't have to show it this way. So let's kind of make those adjustments. I press the little gear because gears are, that's an association with settings, right? So you can change the increments here to whatever you want. I'm just going to keep it at 10,000, but I can change it to show the monthly payments themselves. So I'll update that. And now it's showing me like, okay, instead of 4,200, it'll be 4,297. So it's still that $96 increase, but it kind of just shows the numbers in a different way, depending on what your clients want to see. All right, so you can, that's that universal share button, right? We all know that means share. So you can share this directly with your clients right here. Now, I have some other tools on here before I'm ready to share my PDF with my clients. So up here, now you're on your estimate. If you're on your phone, you'd be on the estimate like you see right here. And then to get to the Smart Compare over here, you would swipe to the left. To get to loan details, you would swipe to the right on your phone. So I'm going to go over to Smart Compare. And what this is a smart comparison tool. And this is showing, whoa, that's supposed to be a number. There we go. Okay, that's much better. Okay, so now this is showing comparisons of different loan options. This is the one that we ran over here. This is one showing like more of an FHA option, right? With 5% down. And you know, you're bringing a little, much less to the closing table, but your monthly payment's a bit higher. This one's showing a 15-year term with a buy down rate. Definitely a higher monthly payment, but you're bringing much less to the closing table. So you can kind of make those adjustments. You can press edit right here. If you have a preferred lender that you want to get on this website and just kind of be able to work numbers together, you're more than welcome to do that. There's a lot of really valuable lender calculators on here. And then of course you can share or print that to your clients. So on the other side of the estimate, so if we had swiped right, now we get to loan details. So this just kind of breaks down the loan that we ran over here, showing everything broken down, including a full amortization schedule, which is pretty cool. I mean, I know investors really like to see that. Lawyers like to see that. Engineers, sometimes doctors, all the smart people. So going back to my estimate, I think I'm ready. I've made all my adjustments and I think I'm ready to send this over to my client. So I'm going to share or print PDF. So this is going to take me to where I can pick a template. I can make sure everything that I have on here is what I want it to look like. So I like this one because it brands your photo at the top, but this one especially I really love because it also brands your colors. So you can see I have Supreme Title Red set right here. But I'll show you in just 1 second how to change the color, but I just want to at least show you like how this breaks down. So you have like mostly everything on the first page here, and then you have a little bit more of a breakdown on the second page. All right. And you can add notes there as well. So let's talk about the premium version of the app for just a second. So the premium version of the app gets you the app basically. So you're getting a very watered down version of it if you don't have the premium. The premium gets you this personal branding. So you're able to put your photo and your name, your logo, your company logo, your contact information, all gets put on your PDFs. That's first and foremost. Number two, you do get access to more templates. Okay, so you have more options for templates over here. And the biggest one is the full access to the marketing side of the app, which we'll get to toward the end. Now, all of these things, especially the marketing side, is worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars. But the app developers made this as inexpensive as they possibly could. So to look at getting the premium for the entire year is $10. That's it. And because you all were gracious enough to join this meeting and learn from me, I would love to send you guys $10 Amazon gift cards to reimburse you for this premium. So please just shoot me an email. You all know my email, rose@supremetitleLLC.com, so that I know that you signed up for the premium. And then I can send you that gift card. Because I really want you to have it. And we push it not because we get any of that money, because we don't, but we push it because of the value that it brings to you and your business. I know that it will bring that value. So we'll go into it and I'll kind of say like, this is a premium feature. This is, only available that way. So let's get into that. First though, I'm going to customize this. When I press customize, I got some options here. So here's where I can change my colors, right? Of just some of the little details on the PDF. But check this out. I can actually change this into any of 14 different languages. I'll just let that wash over you for a second. Because I think that that's an incredibly powerful thing to be able to provide numbers to your clients in their own language, providing that level of comfortability and familiarity so that they know they made the right choice in their realtor. So I could change it there. It'll change everything. And then I would press update. Now, if I edit the profile or edit property, that's just going to take me into the nitty gritty of like what I was kind of running before. And then of course, profile is me, my profile. So here's our options for how to like get this out, right? You can actually email directly through the app. So you just put your client's email addresses right here, and you're going to be automatically CC'd on it right here. You'll get a nice subject to kind of let them know what's going on. You'll get like a summary you see right here of the numbers. What do you mean the buck stops there? What does that mean? I need an interpreter to understand what you're saying, Wendy. No, like, do you mean like the money stops there? I don't know. Explain yourself. So, oh, yes, facts. I know. Same here. I mean, I'm changing it to Vietnamese. I'm not speaking Vietnamese, but at least it makes the clients comfortable, right? So anyway, like you get the summary of the numbers in the body of the email, and then you get the full attachment, like this whole PDF will be attached to the email, and you can just send it straight through the app, which is really convenient. So you can do it that way. You can download it to then email or, do whatever you want with it later. You can print it. There is a social share option, which you would think like, why would I share something that's specific to one client? Just give me a second and I'll show you. Or you can save the estimate. When you save the estimate, it will go up here into your estimates tab. Okay. If you're on your phone, you would open the hamburger menu, the menu that has the 3 lines. So you'd open that up and it saved estimates or estimates will be right there. Okay. And that's where your saved estimates will live. So on the buyer tab, you also have these available. Drum roll, please. Kamira gave me a drum roll from the other room, so that's why we're laughing. All right, so these home reports are just amazing, just plain amazing. So, I mean, how many times have you gotten these questions from especially out of town clients that are coming here like, what's close by? Show me around. Let me see the neighborhood. You don't got to waste your time with that anymore. Send them this. This is everything you could possibly need. You have the convenience of like all of these different common items that people tend to go to. You have the schools with their ratings. You have local restaurants. You even have internet speed comparisons, a walking score, and a sound score. Like what? So this is only one template of a home report. There are so many of them. I like this one for families because it's very bright, it's colorful, it has a picture of a family on it. And it has a little bit more like detailed information that kids would want, obviously like more like parks and things like that. So this also kind of pulls the numbers onto the home report a little bit. You have this one down here. So these home reports, you can tailor to the type of client that you're sending them to, which I love. And I'll go over that again a little bit on the premium tab when we get there, because there's even more home report options. And I want to get your mind kind of thinking in both directions. So first though, what could you use these for? I do these trainings all the time. And I think that like, I get so many incredible suggestions from people. It blows my mind. So the obvious one is the out of town buyers, right? But what about printing them out and bringing them to your open houses to lay out with all your other materials? So now it's not just the information about the home. Now you have information about the neighborhood surrounding the home. What about printing this and making it a part of your listing presentation? That's a big one. Like, here, lister, or here, seller, this is all of what I can offer for your home. Like, this is the marketing that I have, that I'm capable of. I can pull this full home report so that incoming buyers really have a full understanding of your neighborhood. I'm glad you love that, Wendy. I'm expecting you to use them. I will be looking out. And then this is where I would recommend you use that social share button. So make this make this from one of your listings and use the social share and send it to Facebook. And now you have information, you have content for your Facebook or for your Instagram or for whatever you want to use it for. So that is, let me just say for 1 second, because it's a very important note. These home reports are only available in 2 places on the app. Here on the buyer tab and in the premium tab under infographics. Okay, those are the 2 places that you can find these home reports. They're not going to be on the seller tab. Excuse me, and they're not going to be in calculators. Only under buyer and premium. All right, so do we have any questions right now before I move from buyer to seller? Put them in the chat. I'm gonna take a sip. I want to show everyone the mug that I got for Tracy. I don't know if you can read it. It says, "Feed me and tell me I'm pretty." And Tracy has this like weird obsession with sharks. She loves to hate them and hates to love them. All right, so now that my anecdote's over, I see we have no questions. I'm gonna move on to the seller now. So when we switch over, it is going to show me like the same kind of quoting situation that I had before on the buyer side. So I'm going to hit right here to add the address. And I am just going to use Tracy's again, just because she has an example that I really like to show you on the seller side of things. Hopefully those taxes will pull correctly this time. All right, so there's on taxes. Yes, all right. So instead of hitting done with the taxes, it made me hit next. And now it's saying, we found a loan recorded in 2021 for this amount of money. Now, Tracy just stepped outside, but if she was in here, I would yell to her, "Hey, Tracy, when did you refinance your home?" And she would say, "October of 2021. So that's what this is. This is showing her refinance. And I'm telling you, when she refinanced, it was like the second to last week of October, like around the 23rd or something. And not even 2 weeks later, this was on here. So as soon as it's recorded in the clerk of courts, it's going to be pulled onto this app, which is great. So you have like really updated information. So the interest rate. Now, if you don't know your seller's interest rate, or they don't know their own interest rate, which is really common, we know, it does give you the average for that time. So you can kind of say like, all right, maybe I can put 2.9 or even 3% just to be safe. But I know that Tracy, that lucky duck, got a 2.5 interest rate. So I'm going to hit compute. And now it's computing her payoff as the seller, right? So a couple of things I want you to note. This is based off of a 30-year loan. This is also based off of regular payments on that 30-year loan. So the first couple of years that Tracy, after Tracy had refinanced, she was paying extra on her monthly payment. She was giving extra every month, and she's on a 15-year term. So her payoff is closer to about 243, which in the grand scheme of things, $5,500 is not that big of a deal. If you wanted to use this for the estimate, it would be accurate enough, because no matter what, you're always going to tell your clients that this is a preliminary estimate. These are not your final numbers. That's very important. So that you can use this. But if you wanted to adjust things to make the number more accurate, you can hit our gear right here, right? Gear is for settings, and you can enter the data manually. Okay. You can enter the data manually, and that's where you can say like 15-year term and all those other things. But for the sake of our quote, again, it's close enough. I'm going to use it for the estimate. So our sales price, I am just going to keep it at 500, keep things nice and clean. Our broker fee, okay? there's a gear, you can click into it. If you want to adjust your split, you can do that right here. You can even say if you want to show it in the closing costs or not. And then when you hit done, it's going to ask, do you want to set these new numbers for this estimate only or for all of your future estimates? Make sure you hit this one. Unless your broker fee is permanently whatever you set it at, this is what you want, because I don't want you to have a permanent adjustment and then later you're trying to run numbers and you're like, oh, why is this broken? It's not broken. You just hit the wrong button. Okay, so for this estimate only. And then moving down, we have repairs. So repairs is just a regular field. You can put $5,000 for repairs. Okay, so some sellers are totally cool with seeing that. They're like, oh, $5,000 repairs. I know exactly what that's for. But if you have sellers that are maybe a little bit more detail oriented, or they, did these repairs a while ago, they don't remember, they want a breakdown of the repairs instead of just this arbitrary total amount. So what I would do instead is go here into the miscellaneous tab, and then you can add each item name right here and then add the field. So you could do, septic repair 2,000, roof repair 3,000, whatever it may be. And then on the final PDF that you send your clients, it won't just say repairs 5,000. It'll have that breakdown of what those repairs are. Okay. That's just my suggestion, kind of work around that. So there's our taxes. HOA, we know, is $225 a month. There's her loan balance, her awesome interest rate. And then it did already pull the closing date out by a month. Reissue rate, or reissue credit, as we call it. It's very simple. It is, you get a discount on your title policy if you sell your home within 3 years of the purchase. So it has to be 3 years to the day. And I'll say it again, if you sell your home within 3 years of the purchase, you get a discount on your title policy. Okay, so that's all that is. Compute. All right, so here's our final number. This is what Tracy is going to net at the closing table. Now, let's say I'm Tracy's realtor and Tracy had told me like, Rose, I told you that I need to net 235. That's a number. I'm going to use it. 235. So I can press that edit button again and I can put that 235 in there. But what's that going to do to our sales price? It's going to hike it up. So do the comps maybe not support a listing price of 515, 517 to get them that number? This is, again, one of those tools that you can use to realign your client's expectations. Like, hey, I know you want to walk away with 235. You got to look at this though. Look at the comps, look at this number. It's not gonna match up and your home's gonna be sitting on the market, and that's not what we want for you. And if they argue even more and say, oh, I'm willing to let my house sit on the market. Okay, fine. Let me draw your attention to your holding costs. This is a big one. This is Tracy's favorite thing on the app. So I'll come back here and we'll kind of go over these other things at the bottom, but let me show you this really quick because it's that perfect segue that I just did. All right. So this is where, if you're on your phone, you would swipe to the right from your net at close. You have a holding cost tool. So these are those clients that were just like, you know what, we're going to let our house sit. We're fine with that. Everything's cool. Or alternatively, maybe you just finished the listing appointment. They're like, oh my gosh, Joanne, we love you. We absolutely adore you. We're definitely going to list with you. But you know what? We really need to repaint the guest bathroom and kind of do some landscaping outside. So we're going to call you in about 3 months. Sound good? Nope. You want that listing right now. So you can direct their attention. Hey, I totally understand where you're coming from. I get it. I can relate to you, client. Don't you worry. But how about this? How about if you hold on to your home for 3 months, just between insurance, interest, taxes, HOA, you're going to be spending about $4,800. Use this opportunity, you guys. Use it. Edit those expenses and add I feel you, Wendy. That's what I'm saying. There's going to be this aha moment on here where you're going to kick yourself for not being on here sooner. So you can add all of the things, and I highly suggest you do that because there's an other right here. So the monthly utilities, you can take the last 3 utility bills and kind of average those out to get one number for here. You can, under other, add everything you can. Let's just notice there's no principal on here, right? So you can add the principal. You can add lawn care, pool care. What else would be a monthly payment that people would have on their homes? Anything and everything. Do it all, because the higher that number is, the more they're going to be like, oh my gosh, maybe I really should list right now. Oh gosh. So that's my suggestion for you. Okay, so that is the holding cost tool. That is a really, really powerful tool. Now going back to our net sheet. Oh, really quick. Sorry, I'll go back there for just a second. You can, after you edit those expenses, I forgot one thing. You don't have to just do 1 to 4 months. This can be a longer timeline, and longer timeline means more money, right? So 1 to 4 months, or if I hit this, I can change it to months, and now it's 3 to 12 months. So now I have just a longer timeline, okay? And then I can share or print that directly with the client. All right, now back to my net sheet. So I did those edits, and now detail closing costs, just like we were looking at on the buyer side. We can press edit and just kind of, edit those at our leisure. This one, where we had before, how offer price can affect my payment. This is where you turn your phone to the side. This one does not have as much oomph as the buyer side. That's just my opinion, because yeah, if you accept an offer that's 10,000 more, you're going to net about 10,000 more. I mean, come on. Yes. So that one's kind of a no-brainer, but you still have it available to you if you want it. So swiping to the right, we got our holding cost tool. Now, if we swipe to the left, we have a multiple offers tool. So this multiple offers tool is great. We have our one offer that's right here. Okay. And then I can add a new offer, and I can add as many as I need. So if I get 5 offers, but as Tracy's real estate advisor that she's hired to represent her, I think that 2 of them out of the 5 are going to get her exactly what she was looking for. I can put a little star next to those 2 to say, hey, here's all of your offers, but I want you to pay very close attention to those 2 because I think that those are going to be exactly what you were looking for. Now, if you go into details, it's not just offer price and what you're netting. You get to put in everything. So you get to, contingencies and all home warranties. You can put in the EMD right here. All of the things that you would want. And you can even put the buyer's agent name, notes, all of that kind of stuff. So that is really customizable. You even have an escalation clause field that you can add an escalation clause to. So this is a great one. And then when you send it over, right, you're going to share a print PDF when you're finished listing them all out. It just looks so clean and professional. And it just looks like you went that extra mile to put this really special PDF together for your clients. But in reality, it only took you 10 minutes. How awesome is that? So Wendy, I'm loving your narration right now, that you're just loving this along the way. Thank you so much. You're everything to me right now. So back to my net sheet. I'm gonna share or print the PDF. I feel ready. Okay. Now this is the same thing we saw before, where I can come in here and customize, and I want to show you. So not all, this template doesn't have color customization. So it's not going to show it right here, but I have to make sure I select this one. If you don't want your photo on top, you don't have to have it up there. This one doesn't have that. But this one does have the color customization. So it's still set to Supreme Title Red. It's going to put these little details and graphics in red. So I still, even though I don't have my photo at the top, no matter what, because I have the premium, I'm going to be branded down here at the bottom. So I'll always have my photo at the bottom, and I'll always have, this will be your company logo right here, but our logo will be here because it is provided by us. So that will be your logo, and that will be your information and your headshot. All right, and you have the same options here. I just wanted to show you, these are the templates available on the seller side. Those home reports are not here. Remember, they're only on the buyer tab and only in the premium tab. So this is what I wanted to show you for the seller. Do you have any questions right now before we move on to the big guns, to the marketing stuff? Nope. Wonderful. I'm a great teacher. Okay. So on to the calculators. We have a ton of calculators. You can see these are new ones. They roll out calculators based off of the market. So if the market's saying, hey, we need a concession cheat sheet, they're going to add it on here. Hey, a ton of people in the market right now are using buy downs to get their deals accepted. Hey, let's add a buy down calculator. They're awesome over here. So that's something else I wanted to mention. Like if you're playing around on the app and you feel that there's something that can be improved or added, please reach out to me and let me know, because I can reach out to our account rep and they actually hear what we have to say. They value our opinion because we're working with you directly and they know you're the end user on this. You're the ones that find the value in this app. So if you have suggestions on how to improve it, they will actually listen. So let me know. Please explore these calculators at your leisure. We won't have time, obviously, today to go over all of these because it would just take forever because you have a lot. So these are the ones at the top that are considered popular right now because they are, again, relevant to the industry. But you do have all these other options down here. So multiple offers, we saw that on the seller tab, right? So instead of having to do the full seller net sheet, you can just come right here and list out your multiple offers. You can go directly to it. Same thing with that Smart Compare for the loan options that we saw on the buyer tab. You have the Smart Compare tool right here as its own calculator. You can use this home equity calculator, super valuable, rent versus buy, extra payments, refi calculator. Now, iBuyer comparison and iBuyer multiple offers. Do we all know what iBuyer means? The iBuyer is like the Opendoor, Redfin, Zillow, like the online seller representation where they're representing themselves without a realtor and they're just going straight to those companies. We all familiar with that? Because they're getting pretty prevalent here. So this one you can use to compare the cost of selling to an iBuyer versus the cost of listing on the open market to help convince them to list with you as a realtor and not these online shops, basically. All right, big one. So again, explore these. If you have questions, you know where to find me. And you can always use this button down here. They have like a chat system. I believe because they're on Texas time, so Central time. They 2 hours, right? I think they're 7 to 7. I think it's 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I believe. I'll have to confirm that with them, but you can even do that and ask them. Ha! All right. So those are the calculators. Now I'm going to move on to my favorite part, the marketing tab, because this being only $10 for the whole year is like redonkulous to me. So at the beginning of every month, this will pop up. Like when it's like the first, second, third, like whenever the first time you log in that month is, this will pop up for you. So what this is showing you is like, hey, we've made a lot of updates to our content in this marketing tab to be relevant to the current market. So here's our suggestions for 4 posts that you can make this month that are very relevant to what's going on right now in the market. And it gives you a breakdown. So at the very least, if you're like overwhelmed and you can't take the time to pull content from here and pull content from there, and you don't want to spend that time scheduling things out, you can just at least have 1 post per week to keep yourself relevant on social media. So this one is a holding cost calculator. Remember those holding costs we were looking at? That's its own calculator. Love that. Social, the 1 to 0 by now. I thought it was 0 to 1 by now. What do I know? You have social media content galore. So it's giving you the strategy. Did you see that? Content strategy, best practices for using this month's content. And it's showing you like, this is best as one-on-one content. Like, hey, you want to send this to just one client. This is best as social media content. This one's also really good at social media. So it's giving you like literally a guide to what to post, which is awesome. Now, before we get into this, because there's going to be a lot of content on here, and if you don't have a marketing plan to post things, it's going to get overwhelming and it's going to get to be too much. What I suggest you do is take only 1 to 2 hours, 1 day per month. That's all you need. 1 to 2 hours, 1 day per month. You come in here, you download what you want to download, and then you go to your Facebook Meta Business Suite on your business page, right? Your Meta Business Suite to where you can like control everything. And there's a planner on there. You download all this stuff from here, you open your Meta Business Suite to your planner, and you just schedule your post for the month. That's all you gotta do. And then in between that, of course, you're going to post your, your coming soons, your new listings, your just sold, your this and that. But at least no matter what, you have that content that you've scheduled to go out to keep your page relevant and keep traffic flowing to your page. Keep engagement active on your page. You want people to engage with your stuff. So that's what I suggest doing. Now, let's start at the top. Infographics, you have 2 categories for. You have standard infographics that are 1 page, and you have swipeable infographics. And anywhere you see this little icon where it looks like 2 sheets of paper, that means it's multiple pages. Okay, so if you're ever in doubt, you could always just look at that. So I'm going to come right in here and see all on the standard infographics. Now, under every category, it actually gives you the ability to shape it for what you're using it for. So this is standard. This will actually work like on Facebook or whatever, but it won't work on Instagram because Instagram needs to be square. Okay, so if you post this one on Instagram, it'll cut it off like right here. So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure you hit Instagram post so that it automatically kind of condenses that information for you and it's fit absolutely perfectly to what you're using it for. You have TikTok, Facebook story, Instagram story. These are going to be the same. They just put it on here for comfort level, but it's just the size that fills up your phone, right? So if you're on Facebook story and you end up downloading this one to put on your Instagram story, it's still going to work just fine. So taking a look at this, I'm going to go back to standard really quick though, because I want to show you something. Let's bring our brains back to the home reports that we were seeing on the buyer tab that I've talked about endlessly because I love them so much. So those home reports are here. This is the second place on this app that you find these. Standard infographics under the standard size. The home reports are not going to be able to be resized. They are only available on the standard size. So if I scroll down, and I can always search things up here, like if I want to, filter through things, but I just want you to kind of get a scope of how much content there is on here. It's like crazy. And make sure that you're being mindful of relevant information for like right now. So this then versus now one, you can still use this. I just want you to pay attention to the fact that it's like maybe a little bit older and those interest rates might be a little bit out of date. So I'm going to keep going really quick though, because I want to show you. All right, here they're starting. So I have this home report. I got this one, just different vibes. This one's more of a wintry vibe. This one's more of a fall vibe. Then we have, remember before I was showing you that really colorful one, this one for families, right? Has school information, has parks information. So demographics are interesting. I'm a millennial, right? And what are they saying about millennials these days? That we're not having children, and instead we're buying bigger houses so that our dogs have more room. Hi, that's me. I did that. I'm not having children. I don't have any children, but I have a fur baby who is my child. And I wanted her to have more room to run around in the backyard. Okay. So I bought a home that had a bigger backyard. When I do have a cat too, Natasha, and they are best friends. Okay. The cat's in charge. We all know. So yes, exactly. You get it, Natasha. You get it. Anyway, so oh my God, Croatia. I hear Croatia has like a lot of cats. Is that a thing? Is that no, Greece. Greece has a lot of cats. Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to catch up, Natasha. I gotta get you set up with like all of the Supreme Title stuff. You have to start coming to like more of our classes and everything. I want to meet you. Okay, Let me finish though, because I know people got to go in like 10 minutes. So hold on. All right. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right. So me, as someone who bought a home for my pet, do I want to get this home report that has school information? No, I don't care about schools. Okay. What I want to see is something like this. Look at that. I have, now you can give me this demographic, a pet-friendly home report. This is what I care about. I don't care about schools. My dog's not going to school. But I do care about pet stores, and I care about grooming and boarding and dog parks and vet care. That's what I love about the content that you can get from here. There is so much, and you can tailor it for each specific demographic. Amazing. And it doesn't have to be pet forward. There's another one, hold on, I think it's under community. No, all right, I guess not. Let me try to find it. Because it's really clean looking and really nice. And here it is. So this one kind of meets in the middle. It even says no school. So this is one that you could also provide to someone like me, where it's showing all those local conveniences and the restaurants and the walking score and the sound score and internet speed comparisons, but it's not showing any school information. This would be great for, like, you know, a young couple, someone, you know, two people going to work at L3 Harris or something like that, right? Really nice and professional looking. Okay, so that is the standard infographic. So I just want to show you really quick. Let's say I wanted to use this one. Here, all the information's on one page, right? This is a housing inventory update, beating the heat, talking about active listing counts in the US. So this is showing a whole year range. And that's what I was talking about. Just keep in mind about the date ranges. Excuse me. I would say that this information is still relevant personally. But when you're on here, so it's going to give you this, and then it also gives you a whole suggested caption and hashtags. I wouldn't use all of it. I'd maybe use from here, like the call to action, DM me. And then I'd use like maybe a couple of these hashtags. Now, once you have it all copied and ready to go, you don't even have to leave here. You can just press share, and you can share it directly to Facebook. You can schedule it on Facebook. So this will take you to that that Meta Business Suite that I was talking about, where you can use that planner to kind of schedule things out. If you're going to download this to post on social media later, make sure you download the image and not the PDF. I don't want none of you coming to me, Rose, I can't upload it onto social media. Because the first thing I'm going to ask you, did you download a PDF or did you download an image? So make sure you download that image. All right, so I'm going to come out of standard, and I'm just going to show you really quick swipeable, kind of how it looks. So when I go in here, it's going to say like automatic to Facebook post. I personally think these swipeable ones are perfectly made for stories, because it's one of those you can like click through it. That's exactly what stories are made for, right? So here's that exact one that we were just looking at, but now it's separated it onto multiple pages. So here's the first page, giving that a little breakdown, a little narrative. Then on the second page, we have our graph. And on our third page, we have personal branding, and I love it. So, I mean, I could go into this and really give you some tips and tricks about how to use these. I mean, this one's perfectly made from start to finish to be a green screen background. So if you go on your stories and you search in your filters, you can go all the way over in the filters and press search. You can search for green screen. And then you can put these photos behind you, and you'll be there kind of pointing up like, hey, check this out. Let's talk about this. I want to have a conversation. It's so much more interactive, and it actually increases your engagement by a ton. So if you want to learn more about that, we can kind of go over it in, like, privately if you want to reach out to me, and I can teach you how to do that. Wendy's like, heck yeah. So yeah, then you can do the screen. And I think it would be so funny to do the green screen where your face is right here and you just look up and you're like, hey, me. Sorry, I'm goofy. It's just how I have to be. All right, so that is the swipeable infographics. You have a ton of stuff on here. Some of them, like home equity, I believe yeah, so this one among some others, you're gonna have to plug in some numbers to get the end result. Just so you know, they're not all pre-made, like some of them you have to plug in a little bit. All right, so those are infographics. Now, down onto the next category, filters. We all know what photo filters are. Let's check them out. So under filters, there's so many subcategories for filters. It is going to default to Facebook posts, so just make sure you click the correct size before you select your selection. So under the new ones, they have these are pretty. Open house coming soon, just listed. Love that. Gives people something to look forward to. Just listed, that would be for your headshot, and then like the photo of the home goes right behind it. Again, these are photo filters, so like that's why they look so empty, right? There's supposed to be a photo behind them. So let's take a look at it for a second. Under dynamic, this one's really interactive. So like this is where you can kind of put like home features. So if you hit customize, you can say like this is 3-bed, 2-bath, and whatever square footage it might be. And then the photo of the front of the home, or the photo of the beautiful foyer, or the photo of the beautiful kitchen could be right here. Just listed, open house. They have so many different styles, so many different colors. Their commitment to branding is top tier, like amazing, right, Wendy? Right? So like past client equity review. I mean, I don't see these. All I see is realtors posting from list reports over and over and over again. I want you to set yourself apart. Stop posting from list reports and start posting from here, because you're going to get really, really unique and valuable content from here. So if you wanted to use something like this, you would hit customize to be able to adjust those numbers. And then, so you can do this one of two ways. You can come in here and have a file, like a picture already taken, and just upload it in there. So just for the sake, here we go. Perfect. All right, so I just picked this photo. Now keep in mind what's going on the frame. So I have this part of the frame, this footer toward the bottom, and I do have something at the top. So I want to make sure that like, okay, this thing is only going to cut off some of the sky, and this thing's only going to cut off some of the pool. If I wanted to show more of the pool, I could bring this down a little bit. And here, I'll show you how that looks. I bring it down, I make my adjustments, and I hit crop. And now it puts the photo in there exactly how I wanted. And it's showing a little bit more of the pool than maybe it would have before. Okay, so that's how you can upload it. Or if you're on the app on your phone, you can open these filters and take the photo directly with those filters around it. Like you don't have to upload it later. You can just take the photo with the filter. All right, so I love that one. Sold over the Zillow Zestimate. Screw you, Zillow. So we have so many down here. Dream home. There's like luxury property for sale. Just sold. The new kitchen. That's what I was looking for. So they have like a little bit more specific to like different features of the home, like new kitchen. I love being a realtor in a specific subdivision, another successful closing. All these in escrow in like a bunch of different colors, just because they care so much about branding. Love it. So this is just one category of filters. That's just the dynamic filters, right? That's all we've been looking at. So when we come back out here, there's more. There's some so those were dynamic. Then we have closing filters. So proud new homeowner, congratulations on becoming a homeowner, accepted offer. When you close at Supreme Title, we always encourage you to take a photo with your client after closing. Instead of just posting the flat photo of you and your clients, put this adorable frame around it that they said yes to the address, or that they've just become homeowners for the first time, especially first-time home buyers. I mean, how cute are they? So then with listings, I love this one. Happiness is homemade. I think that's like so warm and fuzzy. And you can come in here and just like, it's all to do with listings, all about beautiful kitchen, all about a perfect living room. So this one kind of goes into more specifics of home features as well. Open houses. This one's great because you can actually customize the verbiage on the photo. Here, let me show you. So you can take one like So this is a digital open house. That's like if you want to do like a video walkthrough. Where's the ones with like the, oh, I guess they're under dynamic. Okay, so the dynamic ones have open houses or open house ones that you see, like that one. You can put information on there about like the date, the time, where it's at, like all of these things you can kind of put as written verbiage on the photo. Sorry about that. You won't have this category. That's for us at the title company. But then you have hashtag realtor life. Okay, I want to see at least one of you with this queen of multiple offers. Take a selfie. I love it. And then, but like, what about this one? Like, let's say you're at your final walkthrough with your clients, and instead of just posting a boring photo of the front of the home, you get to post this. You have the photo of the front of the home. My last listing sold over list price. Curious what the market will pay for yours? That is a really powerful call to action. So make sure you take a look at these instead of just posting and moving on. Real estate is my hustle. If that doesn't sound like Joanne and Ferna, I don't know what does. Remodel, kitchen and referrals, all those things. All right, so then you have I know, Wendy, I love her too. So then we have seasonal. So these are all to do with like obviously holidays. So they have really cute ones that they put on for Mother's Day. And if you go back, like it'll show you ones for yeah, like this was for what's that holiday? Valentine's Day. I almost said Thanksgiving. Oh my goodness. This was for like teacher appreciation week. They do some like really interesting stuff. It's not just like the major holidays, like the bank holidays or anything. They'll do like, this one is specific for the summer, real estate summer, summer listing, those kinds of things. So you get the idea. Like here's more from you know, Thanksgiving. So all right. So that was filters. Now we have two more categories and then we're going to be done. I know it's a lot of information, but again, this was recorded and I really hope you take the time to like go back and kind of just like piece together everything and really get a full scope of what's going on here. Cause I know it's a lot, but it's so worth it if you really get comfortable with it. So personalized videos. This is like, I mean, if this isn't worth the $10 a year in and of itself, I like, come on. You get videos made for you that look like they were made by a company that you spent hundreds of dollars paying them to do. It's crazy. I love it. So these standard ones, these will fit on Facebook very well, but they will not fit on Instagram. You have to do the specific Square Instagram one. So when you open them up, none of them are going to be longer than 2 minutes. All right, they're more average at like 30 to 45 seconds. It goes through the information so nicely, so clearly that even like a first-time home buyer could understand these things. Excuse me. And then I just want to let you watch it so you can kind of understand the content. Look at the end. Branding, 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 branding. So this, when you set up your profile, this will be your photo, your information, your company logo. And again, it just looks like you spent hundreds of dollars with a marketing company for them to make this for you. What? I love these ones so much. Obviously, you can see my passion. But I just want you to know there's not going to be as many as far as content because these take a long time for them to animate and create for you guys. So they try to drop like, I want to say like 2 every quarter or so, just to like make sure they're relevant with the market. It might be, you know, 5 or 6 months before they post another one, but they're paying attention to it. They're just making sure, oh, I love that you love this, Jessica. They're just making sure that they're staying relevant. Okay. And now the very last category, and then I want to hear you guys gush about how much you love me and how much you love the Supreme Agent One app. Calculators. So you can share these on email, you can share these on social media, and they allow, again, it's putting that tool and that power back into your client's hands. So we all know that those types of clients exist, right? Like the ones who really just are very determined to do everything themselves, right? Right. So if you're able to send something like this to them, like if you wanted to start a conversation with a potential seller, how much equity do you have? Do you know? Here, you do this yourself. You come talk to me when you're ready. Right. So this kind of shows you like different cover photos. So I love this one. I think it's gorgeous, but you can always choose the wheat. You can choose the home graphic or whatever. And that's just showing like what the cover photo would be on your social media. So before you post something where people are going through numbers and plugging things in, I highly suggest you try it out yourself. So if you click this, it will show you what people will see. This is step 1 of 3. So it'll ask people for what they bought their home for, what their down payment was, their loan balance. So I'm just going to put numbers in so I can show you kind of the process. So let's just say that's what it was. Next, current value. They're going to plug in whatever number they feel like. So let's say it's 800,000, right? Because of course, well, they're going to say $1 million. Why not? Press next. And then do you want a more accurate estimate? Let me pull some information. And then this is where the lead capture comes in. All right. So they're putting in their information of what they think. It's really getting them thinking about things. And it's only asking for their information, their address and their email address at the very end, which makes them more inclined to actually give it to you, which is pretty cool. So that is the calculator, and that's all I got for you. Do you have any questions on the premium side? Any examples you want me to show you? Anything you want me to go back to? This is your time. Please ask me questions. Wow, no questions. Okay, you're welcome to unmute yourselves, by the way. Like there's not too many of us in here. I don't think it would get too crazy. So I'm gonna stop.